Some years ago, the zombie apocalypse took the world by surprise and caused millions of deaths. Survivors had no choice but to retreat into protected city-states, letting the zombies roam the world. In the present, Riley and Mike are watching the zombies that have taken over an abandoned town. They notice that the creatures have vague memories of their past lives because they're going through the motions of their old jobs. Some zombies are failing to play instruments while Big Daddy grabs a gas nozzle to fill a car that isn't there. Riley wonders if the zombies are getting smarter, which worries him. At that moment Big Daddy growls because he can smell humans nearby, so the duo quickly leaves. Meanwhile Cholo and his team arrive at a landfill to get rid of some boxes. When they see a zombie squirming on the ground, they immediately shoot it in the head. Then they throw out the last box, which has blood dripping from it. Moments later, Riley and Mike are suddenly startled by a man with deformed face. Mike gets ready to shoot but Riley stops him, explaining that's their ally Charlie. As fireworks start illuminating the sky, the three men go back to the Dead Reckoning, a huge armored vehicle designed by Riley. Cholo and his team soon join them, and it's revealed that these people use the Dead Reckoning to travel through zombie-infested areas to gather supplies. Riley tries to warn Cholo that zombies appear to be thinking and perhaps even communicating among themselves, but Cholo doesn't take him seriously. Then Cholo gets on his bike and Mike joins him while asking why they only raid at night. Cholo tells him that they need it to be dark to light the fireworks, which are used as a distraction. It turns out that zombies can't keep their eyes off them. The humans roam the town in their cars and bikes, looking for supplies and shooting the distracted zombies as they pass. They don't see that Big Daddy is immune to the fireworks and he's trying to make the other zombies snap out of it to no avail. When zombies start dying under the attacks from the team, Big Daddy gets angry and steps on a zombie's head as he roars in grief. Suddenly the fireworks stop and Riley has to shoot a zombie that gets too close to his Jeep. He calls the Dead Reckoning and Pretty Boy explains that the fireworks launcher is jammed. Riley immediately calls the rest of his men and tells them to return. Everyone rushes back while the Dead Reckoning provides cover by shooting every zombie that approaches and causing a few explosions. Riley realizes Cholo isn't back and calls him again, but Cholo says he has something to do first. Afterward Mike, Cholo, and Foxy enter a store to get some alcohol bottles. When Cholo opens a fridge, a zombie jumps out and attacks him, so they end up wrestling on the ground. After some struggling, Cholo manages to grab the zombie's head and shoots it with his spear gun to kill it. Then Cholo empties a box of cigarettes on the ground and tells Mike to pick them up while he and Foxy take the alcohol outside. Mike reaches over the counter only for a hidden zombie to suddenly bite his arm. When Mike runs out in panic the zombie follows him, but at that moment Riley arrives and shoots the creature in the head. Then Riley tries to help Mike and Cholo asks him to step aside because he wants to shoot Mike before he transforms. While they argue, Mike self-deletes with a gun. Riley announces it's time to go home and all the humans speed down the streets to leave the town. Big Daddy tries to catch one of the bikers, but he snatches a gun instead. He roars before he starts following the vehicles, and the other zombies follow him too. Moments later Riley and his men arrive at a base located outside one of the few standing human cities. Here the rich people live in a luxury residential tower called Fiddler's Green while all the poor citizens are stuck in the slums. This city has guards on patrol at all times and electrified fences that kill zombies when they try to climb them. There's water on all sides and the only way to enter the city is the main bridge. After delivering the supplies, Riley finds Cholo and blames him for Mike's death since the detour had been unnecessary. Cholo explains that Mike had known the risks and agreed to come anyway. It turns out Cholo is desperate to retire in Fiddler's Green and selling alcohol is one of the few ways to make good money. In the morning, Riley and Charlie go to the slums to visit Mulligan, a homeless man who is trying to convince others that they should rebel against the rich. Riley isn't interested in his ideals and just gives him some medicine for his son. Afterward Riley goes to a garage to check on the car he bought yesterday, only to discover that it's been stolen. Desperate for answers, Riley and Charlie go to an underground party where the locals use zombies as entertainment. Some creatures are chained up for pictures while others are forced to fight for gamblers. Riley aggressively confronts Chihuahua and asks about his car, but Chihuahua swears he doesn't know anything and promises to investigate. In the fighting cage, zombies are usually baited with cats or dogs, but tonight the organizer throws in a woman named Slack. She desperately kicks the zombies off as she tries to climb the fences to escape, but the zombies keep bringing her down. The crowd loves the show, however Riley is horrified when he finally discovers what's going on. He opens fire to kill both zombies and the crowd runs away in panic. Chihuahua tries to use the chaos to shoot Charlie, but he accidentally shoots a random man instead. Riley hears the gunshots and immediately shoots Chihuahua down. However Chihuahua is still alive and opens fire at Riley when he turns around. Slack kicks Riley through the fence to push him and the bullet hits her arm instead. When Chihuahua tries to run away, Charlie concentrates and makes a precise shot that hits Chihuahua in the head. As Riley tries to check on Slack, the police arrive and arrest everyone. Later in prison, Slack explains she was used as bait because of an order from the city leader Kaufman, who discovered she's been trying to help Mulligan's rebellion. She also reveals she trained to join the army, but when the apocalypse happened they forced her to become a naughty worker. Riley agrees that the system is awful but he doesn't care about rebelling, He bought a car to leave the city and go somewhere with no people. Their conversation is interrupted when the cops bring Mulligan as well. Outside the city, the zombies find their path blocked. Big Daddy makes a butcher zombie cut a hole in the boards and he's startled by a hanging body. It turns out there are several zombies hanged from their feet with targets on their bodies for humans to use for shooting practice. This makes Big Daddy hungrier for revenge. Meanwhile, Cholo goes to Fiddler's Green to meet with Kaufman, only to almost get attacked by Nip the butler. Nip explains that Kaufman isn't home and that he's been scared because he hears weird noises in another apartment. Cholo kicks down the neighbor's door and finds the body of a man who is self-deleted. He grabs a small sculpture to destroy the man's brain, but the crying widow stops him. While they argue, the man's son comes out to cut the rope, but the dead guy awakens as a zombie and jumps on his son to bite his neck. Then the zombie tries to go after the woman, however Cholo starts smashing his head with the sculpture. At that moment a guard finally arrives and Cholo leaves the cleaning up to him. Afterward Cholo finds Kaufman in his office and gives all the nice stuff he found in town. He says that he wants to use his payments to move to Fiddler's Green, but Kaufman informs him that people like him aren't allowed in the building. An angry Cholo goes on a rant, revealing he's been working for Kaufman for the last 3 years and has killed his political enemies, whose bodies were in the boxes earlier. Kaufman doesn't care and calls a guard, so Cholo quickly leaves while Kaufman orders his man to kill him. In the stairway, the guard tries to attack Cholo, who predicted this and acts fast to defend himself. He knocks the guard out and steals his gun. In the evening, Cholo and the team go to the base with a plan to steal the Dead Reckoning. Nearby 2 soldiers are training by shooting at an inflatable man. Suddenly they hear a noise behind them and turn on a light, only to discover Big Daddy. The people in the base hear screaming before the alarm goes off. The horde gathers at the base fence, which isn't electric because it's the one the guards use. All the soldiers run to open fire, killing as many zombies as they can. Sadly they aren't fast enough and the zombies bring the fence down. The team uses the distraction to steal the Dead Reckoning and Foxy and Pretty Boy think they should fight with it, but Cholo refuses. The zombies make their way into the base and start attacking the soldiers, who don't have enough numbers to win this fight. When the Dead Reckoning leaves the base Big Daddy opens fire, however the bullets bounce off the vehicle's armor and hit some gas tanks, causing a huge explosion. After feasting on the soldiers, the zombies see the bright lights of Fiddler's Green and start moving in that direction. Moments later Cholo calls Kaufman to tell him that he has the Dead Reckoning. He gives him until midnight to send him $5 million on a boat or he'll use the vehicle to blow up Fiddler's Green. Kaufman refuses to negotiate with terrorists, so he calls the prison to make them release Riley. Charlie worries about what they'll do to him and reveals it was Riley who saved him from the fire that burned his face. The cops take Riley to see Kaufman, who wants to hire him to get the Dead Reckoning back. Riley suspects it was Kaufman who got rid of his car to keep him in the city, so he asks for a better car with lots of weapons as payment and for his friends to be released. Kaufman is desperate and agrees to everything. In the Dead Reckoning, Cholo orders Mouse to go to the port and wait for Kaufman's boat. Mouse leaves on his skateboard and hides inside a building at the port where he can wait safely. He's suddenly startled by some noises, but it's just some rats. In prison, Riley reunites with his friends and they all get new weapons. Kaufman's assistant arrives with 3 soldiers and forces Riley to take them on the mission as well. The team soon makes it to the base and sees the destruction caused by the horde. Riley follows some tracks and realizes the zombies are heading to the bridge. He calls Kaufman to warn him, but Kaufman doesn't think the zombies will be capable of breaking in and tells Riley to concentrate on the operation. Riley and Monolete decide to look for ammo and the rest of the team searches for a working car. While they try to hotwire a vehicle, Charlie pulls out his gun and points it at Slack, who freaks out. When Charlie shoots, he hits a zombie behind her. Soon a second creature approaches Charlie and Slack quickly kills it to return the favor, although this also hurts Charlie's ear. Inside a building, Riley and Monolete find a zombie soldier feeding on his teammates. Riley quickly shoots him in the head, but a closer look reveals even more zombies in the back. Since they're all too busy eating, the duo uses the chance to shoot them all to death. After getting the ammo they need, they run to reunite with their team. Suddenly a headless zombie appears behind them, but when it shakes its neck it reveals that its head is still hanging on and it bites Monolete. Charlie shoots the zombie through its chest to reach the hanging head behind it and then the car finally takes off. During the trip, Riley shares that he had a brother who also got bitten and became a zombie in less than an hour. He had no choice but to shoot him. Slack doesn't want to take any risks and kills Monolete. Moments later Riley checks on a tracking device he created when he built the Dead Reckoning so they can follow its movements. Slack confesses that this is the first time leaving the city and Riley asks her to pull over. Then he and Charlie point their guns at Motown and Pillsbury while Riley theorizes they were ordered to kill him after recovering the Dead Reckoning. Riley informs them that he doesn't want Kaufman to have his creation and plans to escape in it. If the soldiers don't like it, they can leave now. Motown and Pillsbury see the zombies in the area and agree to cooperate. At Fiddler's Green, Kaufman gathers the members of the board and informs them that he has secret outposts ready with supplies for emergencies like this. In the Dead Reckoning, Cholo sees a zombie nearby and interrupts his exercise just to kill it. There are only 40 minutes left until midnight so Cholo calls Mouse for an update, but the money hasn't shown up. While Cholo tells his team to get the missiles ready, Mao sees a zombie approaching the door and quickly shoots it down. Then he looks outside and is startled by another enemy, so he quickly moves away. Unfortunately, several more zombies appear behind him and quickly devour him. Meanwhile, the horde is standing in front of the river in confusion. Big Daddy notices the reflection of the lights and walks ahead, only to fall into the water. The other zombies follow him, and since they don't need to breathe, they start crossing the river without issues. Back to the team, Riley watches the Dead Reckoning's route on his device and concludes it's going to the hill so they can shoot the missiles from a perfect angle. Slack decides to drive off the road to take a shortcut that allows them to arrive first. Everyone searches for a place to hide and Motown winks at Pillsbury as a signal to rebel. However, Pillsbury punches her to knock her out because he's on Riley's side now. When the Dead Reckoning finally arrives, Riley and Charlie come out to meet it. Cholo lets them come in and points his gun at Riley before ordering Pretty Boy to get the missiles ready. Riley points out that the attack will kill innocent people too, but Cholo says that Kaufman's leadership has killed even more. In the city, the zombies have finally invaded and are attacking every person in their path, spreading chaos and destruction. When they bring down a guard, Big Daddy steals his gun and teaches another zombie how to kill humans with it. Another soldier tries to throw a grenade, but the butcher cuts his hand off. His body falls on top of the grenade and the explosion kills him. When the clock finally strikes midnight, Cholo tries to launch the missiles to no avail. Riley reveals that he used his device to disable them and throws it on the floor to break it. As Cholo starts beating Riley up, Motown wakes up and approaches the Dead Reckoning. Riley sees her on the camera and kicks Cholo out of the vehicle as Motown opens fire. Suddenly a zombie appears behind her and bites her face, so Slack quickly shoots her in the head before she and Pillsbury bring the zombie down. The distraction allows Charlie to disarm Foxy and take control of the Dead Reckoning. Riley checks on Cholo and notices he's bleeding from Motown's shots. In Fiddler's Green, Kaufman steals all the money from the safes and tries to leave. When a board member tries to stop him, Kaufman shoots him down. At that moment, Riley calls him to inform him they stopped Cholo, but Kaufman doesn't believe him because he hears explosions on the streets. Riley realizes that the zombies have invaded the city and announces they're going back to help. Cholo isn't sure if he'll survive his wound and wants to try to reach an outpost instead, so Foxy stays with him while the others leave. The duo searches for a car and comes across a zombie that Cholo quickly shoots down. Unfortunately, a second creature appears behind him and bites his arm before Cholo kills it with his knife. Foxy is willing to kill him but lets him decide, so Cholo announces he wants to do one last thing. Then Foxy takes him to the base and says a final goodbye before leaving. In the city, the zombies continue to kill people all over the place. They also keep learning how to use guns and other tools to cause even more destruction. Riley calls the guards to ask them to open the fences so people can escape, but the soldiers haven't been able to turn the electricity off and nobody picks up their calls in the power plant. Going through the main bridge would drop them in the middle of the chaos, so they need an alternate solution. Looking at a map, Riley notices a drawbridge that is always up and they head there. Hundreds of people continue to die on the street as the zombies make their way through. The shots from the guards cause a few explosions and a zombie ends up catching on fire. Big Daddy shoots it down out of mercy. When the horde crosses a construction site, they pick up a bunch of tools, including a jackhammer. The zombies soon reach Fiddler's Green and break down the entrance with the tools. They burst in and immediately start killing all the rich people as they destroy all the fancy stores. The Dead Reckoning arrives at the drawbridge and Slack shoots the locked entrance to the control room, almost hurting Riley too. At that moment, a zombie horde surrounds the vehicle, so Riley rushes to pull a lever that finally activates the drawbridge, but it'll take a few minutes to go down. A creature suddenly jumps on Riley and causes him to drop his gun. After some struggle, Riley pushes the zombie over the edge of the structure and the descending bridge decapitates it. The team opens the vehicle's roof hatch and tells Riley to climb. He retrieves his gun and shoots any zombie that comes too close as he starts climbing the Dead Reckoning. Pretty Boy doesn't wait for him to reach the roof and drives ahead, running over several creatures at the front and shooting at those on the sides. As the vehicle crosses the bridge, the team doesn't see a zombie hanging onto the ladder on the back. Riley makes sure to fix the missile launcher on the roof before moving inside. In the city, the locals run to the fence, but it's still electrified, so they can't escape. The zombies surround them and the humans think it's over for them. At that moment, the Dead Reckoning fills the sky with fireworks and the zombies freeze. Unfortunately, their intelligence has developed more and the effect only lasts for a second. In Fiddler's Green, Kaufman and Nip are trying to escape and come across Big Daddy. Kaufman opens fire but his bullets do no damage, so Nip drags his boss to the garage. While Nip